Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Race number 5 at Belmont Park on Saturday is the $300,000 Empire Classic Handicap. Let's take a look at this field all day long at Belmont, basically putting the spotlight on the New York breds, Mike Beer.
Yeah, I think this is the third New York showcase day they've had so far this year. This one used to be the only one. I think because we've already had a couple, we've lost some of the more familiar names, but man, these races, as they always do on this day, they came up pretty tough.
Morning line favorite for the Empire Classic is the number 3, Twisted Tom, Chad Brown, Javier Castellano. 2-1 on the morning line as he tackles older horses for the first time. Now, Twisted Tom, when you watch him run, you know distance is his friend. He loves a mile and an eighth. And if not for the Belmont Stakes, where he was a bit overmatched and he had some trouble to boot going into the first turn, he's riding a 5-race win streak into this one.
Yeah, just has done nothing but win so far this year. And I like the way that he's improved from start to start, too. His last 2 races are the best 2 that he's run so far. And you're right. I mean, it just sort of feels like, at least to this point, he's had a real, let's call it a stamina edge on some of the 3-year-olds he's been running against. I mean, just outstaying those horses at the end of the 9-furlong race last time, for sure. I mean, you know, I don't know. He can win this race. I'm not way against him in here, but let's be honest, he's facing a tougher task here than he's faced all year long, and he's the morning line favorite.
What did you think of the Albany? To me, it was a closer's race on a closer's track, or did you just think, simply put, the 2 best horses ran 1-2, Twisted Tom and Can You Dig It, who picked up some pieces late for second?
Yeah, I thought it was more the latter. I thought the 2 best horses ran 1-2 in there. Certainly Twisted Tom, you know, he almost laid over that field on paper, and he won very easily, came 4 wide to the turn, had no trouble taking over, stayed on nicely to the end. I mean, he's way the best in there, but again, this should be a little tougher for him.
Royal Posse was second in this race in 2015. He won it last year on a sloppy track, and it just seems like his fortunes have not gone well as a 6-year-old. He is 0 for 6. He is a really cool millionaire, but you have to wonder if maybe he's starting to lose a little zip off his fastball. Yeah. But this is his distance.
I mean, it really is. He just hasn't run that well so far in his, you know, most recent, whatever it is, 5, 6, 7 starts. It's basically been all year long. He has not looked like the same horse for Rudy. I mean, they've offered him up for the price in his last 2 races. No takers, but he's been offered up for the price. I want to say he was entered for maybe 35 at some point in the string and then scratched out of one of those races. So, you know, it's pretty clear that he's not the horse that he once was. If he can rebound, obviously he can win this race, but I'm not going to be betting on that.
That was a live optional claimer, though. He exits a couple next out winners, 3 horses returning to earn buyers of 92 through 100. He was on the lead in that race. Let's see what the Timeform US Pace Projector has in store for the Empire Classic. And this time, they have him sitting off of the pace. Becker's Galaxy, the 2, also trained by Rudy Rodriguez, sat last time out in his first start off of a short layoff, but a gate-to-wire winner 2 starts back at Saratoga.
Yeah, I'll give him a pass for the last one. They did sit with him. He doesn't really like a wet track, this horse, and he was just never going to win that race. He's back 12 days later in this spot, so maybe they were just sort of looking at this kind of race for him. He's a reclaim for Rudy Rodriguez. His win at Saratoga over 9 furlongs, and I will say this, Dan, I don't think 9 furlongs is necessarily his best distance, but his win 2 starts back at Saratoga was a legitimately good performance. He went a fast pace in that race and kept going and just held on at the end. He only won it by a head, but he was way the best in there.
Rudy not only has Becker's Galaxy, not only has Royal Posse, he also has the number 4 Control Group, who should be up close to the pace. Pace pressing winner in his last 3 starts. Do you get the feeling that while he's done some good work at a mile and an eighth, he's more of a 2-turn mile and an eighth horse?
Yeah, he might be better around 2 turns. And I'm not going to knock the recent form it is in. Obviously, he's another one who's really improved for Rudy since he claimed him. But I think he's going to have to improve again to beat this field.
Papa Shot, the number 1, has had a really intriguing summer. A 104 Beyer speed figure back in May at Belmont, a 1-turn mile and a 16th. He got the better of Becker's Galaxy, ran well against Diversify at Belmont on July the 2nd. Okay in the Morrissey at Saratoga over a wet track, and then Diversify just got hot. And he destroyed that field in the Evan Shipman en route to winning the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And Linda Rice decided, let's go on an adventure with Papa Shot. They ran him in the Korea Cup last time out, and he was well beaten again.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with them taking a shot in that race. It's a weird spot. It's a weird race to see in his running and his PPs, but I don't have any problem with them trying it. He's back here in the Empire Class. I guess he deserves a shot in here, right? I mean, his form this year has actually been pretty good. I mean, his races are fine, and he's got that one, at least, really fast race that would give him a chance in here. I wonder about the 9 furlongs from the end. I'm not really sure he wants to go this far.
Hit it once more. You were really intrigued with this horse. He's 20-1 on the morning line. You've always been a fan. And you didn't think he had the best setup last time out at Parks.
Well, I didn't think he had a great trip in that race. Not that he, ran particularly well, but I just didn't think he had a great trip in there. He got bumped at the start. He wound up at the back. He got carried wide through the turn. And then when they tried to save ground with him, he sort of got caught behind horses for a minute there. I mean, he didn't run terrible. He didn't run great. I was just sort of, I'll be honest with you, I was looking for a way to try and dress him up a little bit because I like him as a horse. He was a good 3-year-old, and so far he's just come back at 4, and he doesn't look like the same horse to me. And, based on what he's been doing so far this year, I just don't think he can win this race, but I'm glad they're taking a shot.
He's trained by Gary Siaka along with the hard-hitting Testoster Stone. Can you make the argument that he's a bit dirtied up? He was just overmatched in both the Temperance Hill and the Greenwood Cup against Made from Lucky. And his races 3 and 4 back are not bad. He has races fast enough on his page to win this. He might need a little bit more help up front.
I think he does. He's an interesting horse in here, though, because you're right. He has races that are good enough to at least give him a look at. He may not win, but to get him in there somewhere. And he has a pretty versatile running style. I think he can get any kind of trip in this race. And those last 2 races, I mean, to me, this horse just is not served well by going 1.5 miles and 1 5/8 miles. It is too far for him. This is a better distance for this horse, and he's actually pretty good.
Let's take a look at our top pick, however, for the Empire Classic. We are in agreement with Governor Malibu, who was second in this race last year as a 3-year-old. And like Royal Posse, he hasn't come back to win yet at 4. But I think he's run some fast races. And last time out, he was chasing Diversify. Not the greatest spot to be in, but he was easily second best.
Yeah, I just couldn't. There's just no way for him to go with Diversify in there. He tried. He couldn't do it. He settled for second best way far back, but he had an acre of ground between him and Papa Shot. Listen, I'm not this horse's biggest fan, and I was looking for ways. I was actually looking for a lot of different ways to try and beat him in here, just because I just don't really trust him. He is the horse to beat in here. If you can get the 7-2 that got him on the morning line, I would just take it because I think he might be the best horse, even if I don't trust him. I picked him on top. I don't know. I wanted to like him more.
8-3-7-2 for Mike, 8-3-1-6 for me in the $300,000 Empire Classic Handicap. If you're betting that big New York Showcase card from home on Saturday, please consider DRF Bets, because when you sign up at drf.com/fall using the promo code FALL300, you'll immediately access a $300 bonus. Approximate post time for the Empire Classic, 2:34 Eastern on Saturday. Good luck.